Last year's race for the Rookie of the Year award was a war. Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren went at it throughout an entire season. Chet started the year on a better note, but Wemby switched gears as time progressed. The Thunder went from not making the playoffs to locking in the first seed, right after Chet came back from injury. So the only reason he didn't win the award was Wemby's godlike mode post-January. The guy was blocking everyone, including Giannis. How crazy is that? But it's not like the first time we've seen rookies come and impress everybody. The narrative behind the NBA is that it has some of the most talented players in the world, and sometimes their first season is nothing short of a spectacle. Hello basketball fans, and welcome to Hoop Vision. Today we're talking about the top 10 Rookie of the Year winners in the last 20 years. So buckle up for a ride down the basketball memory lane with us. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Takes only a second, costs nothing, and will give you access to more basketball stories. Number 10, Victor Wembanyama. Just like we said, Wemby's rookie run was amazing. He put up almost the same numbers Shaq did in his first year, but needed almost an entire quarter less on average to do so. Some people dare to say he's not a generational talent on podcasts, but that's just delusional. In his rookie year, Wemby didn't have CP3, so his numbers could have been even crazier. Having someone like Chris Paul is huge when you play center. Having a point guard that knows every trick in the book and can make up points from nothing changes how you move on offense, how you set screens, etc. Basically, it changes everything. To be fair, it's not like the Spurs are a powerhouse now, but there's time to build around Wemby and possibly have another successful era in San Antonio, just like back in the Tim Duncan days. The talent is there, and the only thing left to do is surround him with proper pieces for title contention. Number 9, Ja Morant. Before the 19 and 20 season, everyone thought Zion would be the best NBA rookie, but Ja came out blazing. To be fair, Zion made it easier as he refused to change his diet habits and got injured every now and then. Still, Ja Morant earned his Rookie of the Year award fair and square, being one of the most explosive rookies we've ever seen. The Grizzlies didn't reach the playoffs that year, but it didn't matter. They knew they were onto something huge with Ja, and he proved them right on the court. The biggest downside of having him on the team happened to be unrelated to basketball, as we all know about the gun incidents. This year, he's on a comeback tour, and Memphis is looking pretty good at the start of the season, but did he mature enough to give them a deeper playoffs push? In year 6 of his career, there's no more room for excuses of youth and inexperience. Ja is no rookie anymore and has to start leading like everyone expects him to. Number 8, Luka Doncic.
DeAndre Ayton is going to be the number 1 overall pick, but it's incredibly important that the Phoenix Suns don't mess this up. He's right there in Arizona. He's right down the road. You need a box office attraction who can flat out ball, who's a big boy, the size, the athleticism, and the combination of all of those things with his gifts that you simply can't teach. I don't give a damn about how this kid in Europe looks.
When you hear the media call themselves basketball experts, clips like these are more than enough to realize that might not be true. Looking back from this point in time, it's insane how off the mark Stephen A. Smith was. Luka played in the most recent NBA Finals after finishing 3rd in the MVP voting, while Ayton was trying to look like a basketball player in Portland. Today, nobody is questioning Luka's ability to perform in the NBA, but back when he was a rookie, oh boy. The competition he had that year makes his Rookie of the Year even more impressive. The first runner-up was Trae Young, then it was Ayton, Jaren Jackson Jr., Colin Sexton, and none other than SGA. Luka's draft position was also a topic of high controversy. Some wanted him in that very number 1 spot, while some claimed he didn't belong in the top 10. Kings fans still can't forgive Vlade Divac for passing on Luka for Marvin Bagley III, and Luka also never misses the opportunity to rub it in his face. Still, considering how much success Luka has had since those days, he's losing no sleep over who said what almost 7 years ago. Number 7, Damian Lillard. It feels like ancient history when Damian Lillard was a rookie. Miami Heat were the reigning NBA champs, everyone was talking about KD versus LeBron rivalry, and Anthony Davis was supposed to be the hottest rookie in 2012 to 2013. But the kid hooping his heart out in Portland changed the narrative with his flashy style of play and an unlimited range. That season was also stacked when it came to rookies. AD, Bradley Beal, Andre Drummond, Dion Waiters, Harrison Barnes, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and Jonas Valanciunas were some of the names. It looks like that as Lillard is approaching his final years of basketball, we say goodbye to an entire generation of players. In Dame's rookie season, the players didn't make the playoffs, but the very next year, we got this.
The series. It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Lillard, good! And the Blazers win the series for the first time in 14 years. Lillard, long-range three, and it's good! At the buzzer!
Number 6, Kyrie Irving.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat.
In 2010, the entire Cleveland was made at LeBron for joining the Heat and leaving them to be dead last in the East. But little did they know, that very decision of his world would turn out to land them one of the most skilled point guards to ever play the game, and ultimately, this.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Congratulations, you're the first team in the history of the NBA to come back from a 3-1 deficit to win the championship. The curse is over. The 52-year drought has come to an end. Let me present the championship trophy.
If the Cavs fans knew LeBron was subconsciously setting up their first championship ever, they probably would have given him a pass instead of burning his jerseys and booing him every time he stepped into their arena in those 4 years. As a rookie, Kyrie did show a lot of potential and gave hope to Cleveland they might get back to winning in the post-James era, but the team couldn't smell the playoffs until the King returned. Still, Kyrie's year 1 was nothing short of impressive, as some of the names he beat for the award were Kawhi, Klay Thompson, and Kemba Walker, who was a pretty hot name back in the day. Number 5, Blake Griffin. If sports teams from Los Angeles were a family, the Clippers were that awkward and bullied cousin at the end of the table, until Blake Griffin arrived. Yes, he had to miss his real first year due to an injury, but the moment he stepped on the court, it was obvious he'd completely transformed the organization. The front office responded very well, actually. They realized Griffin and DeAndre Jordan needed someone to get the ball to them, so they hunted for CP3 and landed him after a while. The Lob City was one of the most entertaining teams ever assembled, and if there wasn't for the Clippers curse or the infamous Doc Rivers, maybe they could have done more than just reaching the Western Conference semis. Still, Blake's rookie year and the next ones that followed were some of the best in the history of the franchise, and his dunks over Mozgov, Perkins, and Gasol have been replayed to this day. Number 4, Derrick Rose. We've recently done a video about D Rose, and his story is so inspiring that it could actually take an entire series instead of just one short segment. Even as a rookie, D Rose was something special. The young Bulls, led by their Rookie of the Year, gave the Celtics a run for their money in that series. It took the reigning champions 7 games to eliminate them, and every next year, Chicago would take a step upwards until reaching the Eastern Conference Finals in 2011, when D Rose also became the youngest MVP in the history of the league. The same year Rose was drafted, so was OJ Mayo, who was considered to be one of the biggest talents of that generation, Brook Lopez, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love, Michael Beasley, and many others, but they had no chance against Derrick. His injury stings to this day, making you unable to look at his career without asking the what-if question. Number 3, Kevin Durant. When you mention KD, it's like the most obvious thing he won the Rookie of the Year in his first season. It's like, who else could have gotten the award? Greg Oden was picked first indeed, but he didn't play that year due to injury and was just a shadow of himself later on. Just to make you realize how long ago this all was, some of the rookies competing with KD were Al Horford and Mike Conley, who are still in the league with him. These old heads were younglings once upon a time, and their longevity deserves nothing but respect. What's also worth mentioning is that KD didn't get to win the award in the OKC jersey. That was the last year of the Seattle Supersonics, a franchise some of our younger fans may not remember. KD was spectacular wearing yellow and green, but as we all know, he developed into a true menace when Russ joined him in blue and orange. Number 2, Chris Paul. We all praise LeBron for playing for this long, but we must not forget CP3 for entering his 20th year in the most competitive basketball league in the world. Back in 2004, the New Orleans Hornets drafted a short point guard who would later on become point god. All the runner-ups from that Rookie of the Year voting have retired a long time ago, but CP3 is still ballin' and shaping the future of the NBA by mentoring Wemby. It's hard to say which one of his eras were the most significant ones. He made New Orleans look like a decent team, then it was Lob Party with the Clippers, and Houston was only 1 win away from the finals. But his injury in Game 6 against the Warriors crushed that dream. Wherever he went, he improved the team. The Thunder core studied under his leadership, then it was the Suns who fell short of the title due to Giannis playing like a Greek god. Without exaggeration, CP3 has been one of the historically most influential point guards ever, despite never adding the championship to his resume. Number 1. LeBron James. There was probably zero doubt in your mind who was going to be the number 1 on this list. But back when people were voting, many were speculating about giving the co-rookie award to both Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James since their stats were very similar. However, they forgot that LeBron was a nationally recognized star way before entering the league, so to beat him, you'd have to be way above his numbers, not similar. The Cavs didn't make the postseason that year, but LeBron took them to the finals just 4 seasons later. Yes, they got swept by the Spurs, but realistically, the Cavs were a one-man army. Maturation was obvious in LeBron's games as years went on, and it would really be interesting to know what could have been different if he had a better squad in 2007. At 40 years old, he's still putting up good numbers and playing against superstars in their prime. People almost forget his prime was almost 10 years ago when criticizing him for a certain drop of percentage in stats. If anything, Cleveland Cavaliers immortalized their franchise by making the right decision in that draft, picking the kid who'd bring them their first championship in the organization's history. That's it for today, Hoop Fam. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments who your favorite rookie was in the last 20 years. Thank you for watching and growing this channel. Make sure you don't miss out on more NBA stories by hitting that subscribe button. See you in the next one.